Hello humans! Welcome back to another Fairest Run of All video edition. I am Jen, your Run Disney bestie, and today I would like to try something a little bit different. We are going to be talking about Disney Deinfluencing as pertains to the Run Disney race expos. Full disclosure, this particular subject began its life as a blog post, and I will link that blog post below if you actually prefer reading. I often prefer reading, but I know a lot of people like video, which is how we all came to be here now. So I'm going to try sort of converting this subject, the contents of that blog post, into something that can be consumed in an audiovisual fashion for those who prefer that medium. So we're going to run through the points of my blog post, which is called Disney Deinfluencing: How to Avoid Run Disney Expo Overbuys. So the first question you may be asking is, what exactly is Disney Deinfluencing? So in a world where Disney and its various collaborators have a new merch drop what feels like almost every single day, I think it behooves us to take a step back and consider the wider implications of all of that. Is this latest and greatest thing a good value for your money? Is it something you really will use? How long will it last? Do you have a place to put it? Do you actually even want it? These may seem like stupid questions, but with modern marketing being what it is, pervasive advertising, influencers, it's very easy to get swept up in the hype, and the next thing you know, you're swiping your credit card before you've even had time to process what it is that you're buying. Even if the monetary expenditure doesn't necessarily worry you, there's the question of consumption points, the environment, how much space you even have in your home. It can be very mentally draining to just be surrounded by stuff. I'm not trying to tell you never to buy anything. That would be ridiculous and no fun at all, and very hypocritical, because I recently bought this Mulan jersey and I love it, but you have to think critically before you make these purchases. Make sure that it is going to be something that you don't regret. I want to encourage everyone, including myself, to make their purchases thoughtfully without succumbing to the scarcity marketing that encourages impulse spending and compulsive hoarding, frankly. So the goal is to avoid buyer's remorse, whatever that looks like for you. So for my first de-influencing post, I wanted to talk about Run Disney race expos. If you're not familiar with the Run Disney scene, the race expo is where you ostensibly go to pick up your race bib and also get your race shirt, and that's all included in your registration and does not require any further expenditure on your part. It's what's already guaranteed to you having registered for the race. But the race expo is also a big fair of sorts. You've got Run Disney official merchandise that's available, you have a bunch of vendors, and they're all trying to get your money. So with all of that buying opportunity, how do you make sure that you walk out of the expo having only spent the amount of money that you want to spend and having only purchased what you actually want to take home with you, even if that does in fact mean that you're leaving empty-handed? So I polled my Instagram followers for their best tips, tricks, and hacks for how to make sure that you're not spending money you don't have on things you don't want or need, and here's what we came up with. So the first thing is probably fairly obvious, but it's good to start with the basics, and that's to set a budget. So if you only want to spend $50 at the race expo, then tell yourself you only have $50 to spend. You'll probably want to do a lap around all the vendors, weigh all of your options, see what you want. Make sure that you checked out everything before you make your commitments. That being said, once you've seen the dizzying array of things available for your purchase, it may be really hard to stick to that budget. So here are some additional ways to try to rein yourself back. One thing you could do is preload a Disney gift card with only the amount of money that you want to spend and only use that card. You could even leave your credit cards in your hotel room or in your car or what have you, so that you can't bust them out in case you run out of money. Alternatively, you could bring only cash and just spend that cash, and when it's out, it's out. Although I will say a lot of vendors, sometimes even Disney included, will only accept PayPal or Venmo or whatever their Square is, so you have to use a credit card if you want to purchase from them. But I mean, that's another way to not buy things, I guess. It may be helpful to pick out what you want before you arrive. You can often see in official merch drops on the Disney blog, the Run Disney blog and similar, and from also influencers and social media and blog posts and such, what's going to be available at least in the official Run Disney merch tent, and you can look at all of it and determine in advance, here are the things that I would like to purchase, and then go in with blinders on. Just pick those things up and walk out after paying. Don't just walk out, they won't like that. Now, that being said, runDisney is notorious for both having a limited run of what often seems to be like the best stuff that they've made, and also having lots of eBay pirates. So if you're not their first thing, and sometimes if you don't have a Club runDisney membership even, which gets you into the merch area early, then you might not have an opportunity in the first place to buy any of it, which leads us to our next hack, which is to deliberately show up late. Not late to the expos and outside of the hours of operation, obviously, because they won't like that either. Less than they wouldn't like the walking out without paying, but they still won't like it. But if you show up later on in the day, then not only will it be much less crowded, a lot of the merch will already be gone and you can't buy what's not there, so money saved. This next one, I'm kind of on the fence about. I feel like it depends on how the person in question is operating their business, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Someone told me that they employ a personal shopper for runDisney Race Expos. There are people who will take orders in advance for the merch that people want to buy, and they will go for them and pick it up and then arrange a handoff in some degree. And I'm sure you also have to pay the personal shopper an additional amount, but that would mean sort of, if you can't get there early, but you do have your heart set on things, but you also don't want to buy additional stuff that you weren't considering buying in the first place but are afraid might impulse purchase, then that would be a way to make sure, once again, that your blinders are on. Someone else is your blinders in this case, and that way you only spend what you meant to spend in the first place. It's sort of uncomfortably adjacent to the eBay pirates who are buying up tons of merch and then going straight to eBay with no intention of ever using it for themselves, but I suppose in the case of a personal shopper, they are at least buying for people who definitely want it and hopefully mean to use it for themselves. I leave it to you to decide how you feel about that. From what I understand, this year they've made a change at the expo where on the first day of the expo, the only people who will be able to buy Dopey merch will be people who are actually participating in the Dopey challenge, which unfortunately I am not doing this year. That would have been great last year because they had a cute Dopey sweatshirt, but I mean, did I really need the Dopey sweatshirt? The real experience of Dopey is running the races, not wearing the sweatshirt. So, you know, it's fine. Once again, the merch that is not there, you can't buy, so that saves you money. Feeding right on into that, did I really need here in Puerto Rico where it is hot all the time, a hoodie? Probably not. So, our next tip, think practically. Before you make a purchase, ask yourself, honestly, will I use this? Really? I mean, the answer might be yes, and then you can be like, yeah, I'm buying this, and with no reservations whatsoever, just swipe your card and there you go. But if the answer is no, put it back. If it's not unequivocally yes, then it's no, and you don't need that. The next one is a little bit trickier, but you can just not go. You do have to go, technically, if you're running the races, because runDisney doesn't allow proxy pickups or technically race morning pickups unless it's an emergency. So in order to get your bib, you do have to go to the expo. Now, the bib pickup itself is generally completely separate from all buying opportunities, at least historically. So there's no danger there. But to pick up your race shirt, you do have to go, again, historically, unless you've changed something, you are going to have to go all the way through the exhibitor hall to the back, which they probably do on purpose. There are ways to get around this. Again, put your blinders on, just straight back to the shirt pickup area, get your shirt, off you go. Or if you're really into buying, you could get someone to do it for you, or even ask a cast member maybe. I don't know how easily that would happen, but you know, give it a shot. If you're really worried about spending too much money and getting sucked in, then somebody really nice will help you, I'm sure. It's Disney magic, right? So there you go. There's a handful of ways that you can make sure that you only come home with precisely what you meant to buy and nothing more, nothing less. Now, if you would prefer to throw caution to the wind and just buy all the things at a runDisney Race Expo, then I am in no position to tell you no. If you feel legitimately that you are comfortable buying that much stuff, that you want that stuff, that you will use that stuff, and that stuff will not take up space in your home, then have at it. Everybody's consumption set point is different. The goal here is not to stay across the board, here's how much you spend, here's how much you buy, this is what is correct, because that's going to be different for everybody. The idea here is to avoid buyer's remorse, whatever that looks like for you personally. So that's my first Disney Deinfluencing post, or in this particular case, video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, a comment. Let me know that you would like me to continue converting my Disney Deinfluencing post to video format, or if you like this generally and would enjoy having more of my posts become video as well, then please do let me know. It's very easy for me. It's arguably easier than other stuff because I just bring up my post, try not to do too much this shifting, try to pretend at least that I am speaking off the cuff, but but let me know and I can do more of this. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe, like, you know, all the things to let me know that you're having fun with me. And if you didn't, then don't. That will also send a message. And I hope to see you at a Run Disney race weekend soon.